Well, one of the things about playing, like you're talking about playing the Viper Room and the Roxy and all that, they're nice clubs, but like in the Viper Room, you're not playing the main stage. No, that's pay to play. And House of Blues, you're playing the Foundation Room. You're not playing the main stage there either. Those are nice, comfortable little things. Sometimes there are actually industry people there, but most of the time not. It's a good thing to do because it puts you into a different position with different people that are hearing your music. And that's something that can build your fan base. But as far as getting discovered at a place like that, no, that doesn't happen. You have to go where the people really are. Conferences, events, things like we do, are an opportunity to meet somebody direct, face to face, hand them a CD, talk to them a little bit, find out what they really want. And also, when you come to one of our events, especially on these first Wednesdays, we pretty much always have a critique, a little bit of a thing where somebody gets to play their music. And honestly, we have people that come in and they think they've got the greatest song in the world, and they bring it in, they'll play it, and people get up and go to the bathroom. And there's a reason for that. It's because the music is okay, but it's nowhere near the kind of quality that's really required to make things happen. And when people start seeing that more and more, and if they're really honest with themselves, then they're going to start realizing that, yeah, maybe my music needs a little bit of work, or maybe my music doesn't really work in this place. I need to put it somewhere else. We have this one artist, in fact, it's kind of funny. I just got an email from someone that says, hey, Jim, I know that you know this guy. I won't mention his name, it might embarrass him, but he says, I know this guy, and he's a good guy, but I don't get his music. Every time I hear his music, I just have to turn it off. This is so bad. And I said, well, that's interesting because, see, this guy, he comes, and yeah, his music by itself is kind of hard to listen to, I'll admit that. But one of these days, why don't you try taking his CD, putting it in, and turning on the TV and turning the sound off, and watch what happens. And it's amazing because even though this guy's stuff doesn't sound structured or melodic as you would expect, like for a singer-songwriter and open mic, when you listen to it in that context with that video going on, like a chase scene or somebody talking in a bar or restaurant, all of a sudden that music becomes critical and it creates an emotion that you would never expect just listening to the music by itself. It's a symbiosis between having all these things connecting. And that's what it's about when you have a music industry professional coming in and hearing your stuff from a professional perspective. That's when you start realizing that, yeah, your music can work in different places, but it's important to see that. The reality is that there's no excuse for a bad demo anymore. I've heard it said that there's no excuse for a demo, in fact, because really, even with something as simple as GarageBand, which is what I personally use, you can get some killer sounds and incredible recordings out of something that simple. A simple guitar vocal thing. And the bottom line is that really it's going to be listened to on somebody's iPod, through earbuds. What kind of quality is that going to be? The majority of the people that listen to the music that I do anyway are not going to be listening to it in a $300,000 home stereo. They're going to be listening to it in their car. They're going to be listening to it on their iPads and their phones. They might even use it as a ringtone. So I don't think that there's really necessarily a need for that kind of quality in that context. But having said that, if you're pitching to film and TV, or you're pitching to have somebody cut your song, like you're sending your song to Nashville for a famous artist to produce or a famous artist to cover for you, then it better sound exactly like the record. It's got to sound album quality. They call it airplay quality or master quality, because that's what these people are used to. That's what they want to listen to. In the realm of film and TV, they need that music yesterday. It's not like, yeah, well, it sounds good, but we need it to be tweaked like that. No. In film and TV, they know that there's a plethora of music out there. These libraries have hundreds of thousands, not just thousands, hundreds of thousands of different songs that they can pick from. So they don't have to pick your song and say, yeah, well, can you adjust this? No. Next. And they will find a song that's close enough or better than what you've got because it either has the right word in it or it has the right mix in it that works with what they're doing in that context. And you've lost out because your material wasn't quite recorded perfectly for that particular application. Same is true for Nashville. If you send somebody a great song, it could be the most killer song in the world, but you're sending it to a male vocalist or a male artist, and you've got a killer female on there that sounds like Kelly Clarkson, guess what? It ain't going to happen, because they're wanting to hear somebody that sounds more like Randy Travis or somebody else. And it's like, sorry, that's not going to work. Or R&B, you send them something that sounds like Mariah Carey, but they want Luther Vandross. It's got to sound like Luther Vandross, because if not, they're not going to get it. Even though you get it, and even though you think these guys are professionals, they've got to get it, it ain't going to happen, because it has to sound like what they're looking for.